Well, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today is January 5th, and beautiful day out. Just kind of cloudy and sunny, but it's only, I don't know, 10 or 15 degrees, and the wind is blowing like a son of a gun out there. Every now and then I'll see a dust devil go across the field. I mean, it's just a windy day. So, another good day in the shop. But I wanted to show you this carburetor I've been working on. Now, I took this all apart, took all the screws out, soaked it in evapor rust, and it did the job. I got all the rust out of here. But this carburetor, well, let me go and show you. I'll shut you off. I'll go get another carburetor. Now, that carburetor that we were looking at a minute ago is a 34. This one here, I think, is a 53, probably off an A or something, but I'm not sure. But you can see how that's a machine surface. And this one here is supposed to be a machine surface. But, yeah, it's just all looks like cast iron in there. This has had a tremendous amount of water setting in it at some point in its life. I don't know what the deal was with this tractor. I went and I soaked this one in evapor rust. This here I just wire wheeled and got it cleaned up. And everything looks all right. So I went to put the, get it so it'll set right. I went to put the needle back in under the seat. Couldn't get it in, so I said, I'll take this out first and then put the float in like you're supposed to. And I don't know if you can see how rough that cast iron is. It's extremely rough. I don't think it would seat. This thing had that little tiny gasket on it, which I don't believe is right. It might be, but I'm not sure. But I got a bigger one that'll fit nice. I got to machine this and make it so it'll fit. But it's got a brand new float. That needle's brand new. When I went to take the actual seat out, I dropped this socket onto it to see if it would engage, you know, before I put the ratchet on it. And I spun it out with my fingers. It was not even, you know, a lot of times they'll just be snugged and they'll kind of catch and then come out. This one wasn't even snug. I mean, it was just there. So somebody had put the float in, spun that in on top of it, you know, put the pin in down here, and they had forgot to go back and tighten it. The guy that we bought it off said that you had to shut the fuel off the tank all the time because it would leak through at the carburetor. Well, probably why. Also, we're going to go machine that casting. That casting is not acceptable. 80 years old. You know, it deserves a little love. So we'll go give this some love in the mill machine. Just mill off that surface, and it'll be good. Okay, this here is pretty well flat. If you put a 5/1000 shim on this side, it brings it dead nuts. And it's the same either way you flip it. It's pretty good level. So it's close enough as far as I'm concerned to get this. Whoop. That should be within 5/1000 over a period of, yeah, actually if I wanted to go down just a skosh, there we go. That's just like it is here. So that the machine should be trimmed to that. So I'm gonna smoke that up. Nothing seemed to matter. Didn't move it. Yeah, this way here it's off a little bit, but don't know, because it's a rough casting I'm going on, is I'm gonna be able to change it any. I'm gonna try it right there. That needle and seat ought to correspond with 4/5,000 out. So I'm gonna go turn on the phase converter. And for those of you who have never seen this operation, I'll take you out. Okay, we got a regular factory one here. This is a 30 horse that runs the Morosiki the Monarch behind it, and I got an Osama Senior over there. Those are all big three-phase stuff, have 10-horse motors on them. So I run that for those. The milling machine, the broach, all that three-phase stuff, I run off this little homemade rig. Just got a plug. The whole furnace is running today. Plug that in, let it come up to speed. Throw the breaker. Unplug the little guy. And I'm good to go. I've just never spent the money. I think I gave $10 for that motor, and the other one was a junk find, a little bit of wire, and you're going. Low budget, but yeah, let's see what we can do here. That right there should do it. So, go down. Pick it up a couple thousandths. We'll move it up with the actual table lift. Oh, we are engaged. Yes. Slow that way down. Get it down around 1,000 or so. Okay, we're just touching right there. Let's take 8 thousandths off and we'll take a look. Okay, that's 8 thousandths. Oh yeah, we ain't even got down to the seat area yet. So, actually set it right down tight. Drop the table 5. Okay. I'm gonna go 10 thousandths. Nope, not enough. Go another 10. Just starting to cut down where the actual gasket hits. Do we go 5 or 10? Guess we'll go 10. Nope, haven't cleaned up yet. We'll go 5 this time. Wow, looks good. I don't know about the glare, that don't help, but so anyway, there we go. I think it'll be all right. Okay, getting ready to put this together. One little quirky thing that I do, I take a 10 by 24 tap and I run down through, just in there 1/4 of an inch, and then that way you can put your 10 by 24 in, and you can wiggle stuff around, get the top to start, which this one here doesn't seem to want to. There we go, just started. Just got to get it in where it belongs. Come up through right. Can't even see visually that you moved it, but I did. I'm pretty sure. Make sure it goes in the right way. And it looks correct. That looks a little better. I'm going to put this other side piece in, one of the pivot, float ball pivot pin bushings. That'll give me a more accurate reading. This is a 34 carburetor. This DLTX13 is just the base casting. That same casting number's on all of them. It's on the John Deere A's, everything. Yeah, that's more like it. That's about a half. So don't forget to put the spring in under here when you put the nut on for your base. I've actually taken several carburetors apart where these were not there. So it does happen. Yeah, I made that gasket. It's probably a 1/16 of an inch oversized, but I think it'll work. We will drop that right on there like so. Try to center it up as best we can. Don't forget your spring. This is a piece of nylon gasket material or something. I'm not sure what type of material it is, but it is what they had on it before. And I may have to actually make a new gasket because this doesn't act. I would say it shrinks up when it dries out, but it might go on. No, it's going to go on. I don't know if it's really optimal, but at this point in the game, as long as we can stop it from leaking gas, that's all I really care about. All right. Move that just a skosh. Get the 1 1/8" socket out, and we'll... You don't want to kill these, just enough. There, that should be pretty much ready to go back on, except for this here. And I think I'm going to redo that gasket there. Kind of an interesting thing here. Of course, that gasket's going to be hard to get off, maybe. But you can't put these together without... come on. There we go. Got to have that gasket in there. I mean, that bolt in there. Because you cannot get that bolt in after the fact. Almost put it on the tractor without putting that bolt in there. Beautiful. That's just casting. This casting is so rough on this carb, it's unbelievable. But anyway, she's good to go on now. Okay, we have the carburetor assembled on the tractor, and with the hand throttle, it's just got to be pulled hard enough that the spring leaves the governor arm. It doesn't have to be pulled full throttle because it's not running. And then at that point, if you go like so, hold this all the way open. This rod is supposed to set halfway. I can spring it a little bit. It's supposed to be right there. So this needs to be lengthened out. So I'm going to do that. I got to take this and loosen it up. I'll probably run a die over stuff and get things moving good. And then I'll bring you back here and we'll reassemble. Got that side all freed up and greased. Got a washer on top so it holds it at the right height. Down here with this full throttle, you're at about half the hole. So before I tighten stuff up, I've got to go get rid of this farmer's cotter pin here. And I'll put a good one in. Okay, got a cotter pin on there that looks halfway decent. There you go. Now that will hold that wide open. I'm going to take this short linkage off. And I'll free this up for adjustment. I'm going to free up these for adjustment on the actual quadrant. And then we'll see what we can do here, because I know darn well this is going to need to be adjusted when we get it running again. And right now, a lot of stuff isn't adjustable. You saw that this actual throttle linkage was off. I'm sure all the rest of them are off. Okay, off camera, we loosen this up so it can adjust. Right now I'm setting on the stop. I'm just above an idle. I don't know where it needs to be. It's supposed to be at 500 RPM at idle. If you go to the late styled Bs, when they have the vacuum pump for the crankcase here, or crankcase ventilation pump, and they also have the different gearbox, that style is supposed to actually pull the throttle back and shut the tractor off. This model here is supposed to be idling at 500 RPM with the throttle pulled all the way back, because they were meant to be shut, to have the fuel shut off to shut them off. I got both of my stops all loose, wire wheeled. I got grease in the threads so we can do the moving. And this is ready to set up once we get it running. Well, we just had a Steiner delivery. New clutch pack, 2 new drives, and the friction surfaces here that go on the actual fan hub. I didn't know if I was going to need this or not, but I got one. I got to reassemble this cub. I didn't do any filming on this. The best way to get in behind these dashes is to take the fuel tank off. I was trying to do it the other way and I finally got aggravated. I got a new solenoid. So I went over to see John over at Cornish Auto. Got a new solenoid. That's what my problem was. And yeah, so what do they get for part number on that? They've changed it. Looks like SBC 3435. I don't know why it used to be an S72, but anyway, that's typical for stuff. And anyway, all nuts and bolts. So I'm gonna put this back together. I just gotta change that one piece out. I just put the new plugs in it. And those were a son of a gun. I actually had to take the impact and pull them out with the impact. And I thought I had 4 brand new ones, and I had 3 new ones and an old one. So I put the old one in. I'm gonna get some new ones tomorrow, but I'm not gonna worry about it. These number 1 and number 4 cylinder, they run extremely hot. Or not hot, but they run clean. So I put that old one in the front one. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not good though. These, that one's the other one that's not good. Of course it would be. But that's a good burning plug right there. Number 1 and number 4 burn just like that. So anyway, gotta take that to the junk. Yeah, and I was putting them plugs in. I was looking down on the manifold. Them old Danny's been hot a time or two. Some old wire, plug wire or something. I don't know what it is. But anyway, throw that over there. So yeah, so we'll put this thing back together off camera. Well, about an hour and a half later, and everything's on but the hood. I want to start it here, make sure it's going to go. Kind of an ironic thing. Right up here, right in behind, is where that solenoid is. And I was telling Carol, I says, you know, they brought that cable all the way down and ran it all the way up, then ran it all the way down and up around. They could have stuck that right there with no more use of any cables, and you could have just taken this side off and everything would have been right there. And there's nothing there. It's funny how engineers design stuff. You know, they get it stuck in their head that this is where all the electrical components got to go. I don't get it. It's a son of a bitch. But anyway, let's see if she'll start. We'll put a little bit of fuel on the situation. It's leaking a little bit around the stem. I'll have to check that. Might have to tighten that jam nut up. But let's see what happens. Switch on. A little bit of choke. I'm gonna call it a win. Yeah, I'm gonna put that hood on and go put it underneath the house, because it belongs over there with the other 5 or 6 tractors under the house. Choke. Get the brake on. Beautiful. Runs like a dream. Is it gonna stay? Yeah. Yeah, let's go put this old girl away. One more project done. Wrong way. Not much snow. It's only about 20 degrees out. Sun's going down. Usually we can't get into here during the middle of winter time. Kind of lucky this year. Yeah, that's going to be all for this video. Dogs are outside there. Yeah, tomorrow morning we will pull that fan drive off and we'll tackle that.